ultimately, if you want to do a game design course, make sure there is a project involved in it. It has to be a practical course.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm Rahul Sehgal, the founder of the Gamer to Maker method. In today's episode of the Gamer to Maker Helpline, I'm talking to Ayush, who is a student of class 10. He wants to be a game designer after he graduates from class 12. So I'm going to be talking to him about how he can select a good game design course, also whether it's worth the student loan to go abroad to learn game making, and also about prototyping and lots of other interesting questions. All of these are in the timestamp in the description. Also, if you're interested in a course to learn how to make video games, check out the Gamer to Maker course, which is there in the description of this video. So let's go.
Hello everyone. Today we have Ash. Is that your full name? Or is it Ashish?
So, my real name is Ayush Bhardwaj.
आयुष भारद्वाज. हाय आयुष. आप हिंदी में बात कर सकते हो. यू कैन टॉक इन हिंदी, यू कैन टॉक इन इंग्लिश, नो प्रॉब्लम. आप जिस भी भाषा में कंफर्टेबल हो आप उसमें बात कर सकते हो. आई विल आंसर यू सेम, हिंदी इंग्लिश मिक्स में बात करूंगा मैं, ठीक है? हाँ, तो अपने बारे में बताइए. टेल अस अबाउट योरसेल्फ. वेयर आर यू, व्हाट आर यू डूइंग एंड व्हाट डू यू वांट टू डू?
So my name is Ayush Bhardwaj, and people on the internet know me by the name Ash.
Ash badass, right?
Yeah, with a single S, not
Yes, okay,
double.
badass, yes. Right, okay.
And I'm a student game designer, although I'm still in school, but I love studying design, game design in particular. So I studied that on online as whatever resource I have, I use that to my advantage. And I wanna become a game designer. Someday in future, I might work. I have this aim of working at big studios. Maybe someday starting in India. I'm not sure about that.
Awesome,
But-
awesome. Okay, so tell us about where are you, which city are you in?
I'm in Jamshedpur, Jharkhand.
Okay, you're in Jamshedpur. And what subjects? You're in class 11, you said?
I'm in 10th right now.
You're in 10th. Okay, and all right, awesome. So okay. So what exactly? What questions do you have?
Before I forget, unless you've already done so, hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so that you don't miss any time I post a video. Also, I'm on Instagram. Follow me there. I post some exclusive content, Sehgal Rahul 1. I post tips, tricks, hacks, some really good content about making games and the game industry. All right, so now that you know where to find me, let's get back into it.
What should a good game design course look like? So if I'm applying somewhere, if I see an institution or a university that's offering a course, what should I be looking for if I'm wanting to pursue game design?
If you specifically want to be a game designer, Ash, there are a few things that you have to be aware of, and that is my mantra, and that my rule number one is that the only way of learning how to make games is to actually make them. Okay. So now, if you want to be a game designer, that is a very specialized skill, which is actually not so easy to teach in school, right? It's possible to teach game programming in school. So if you go to a game school, game programming is a skill which is not too difficult to teach. It's actually easy to teach on the internet also. You can watch videos and you can learn game programming. Same with game art, modeling, etc. You can learn from videos, or you can also do from a game course. But generally, when it comes to game design is a little bit difficult to teach in school, which means that there are not very many colleges or institutes that actually say game design. We'll teach you game design. I went to a Vancouver Film School, and in Vancouver Film School, I had a game design course. But over there, if you want to go to a game design course, firstly you have to understand that there has to be a project involved. Okay, if you want to learn game design, you have to start learning the components, which are, I guess, how to write documentation, how to decide on what kind of emotions you want to arise in players. What do you want players to feel from moment to moment? That is essentially what a designer does. How do you want players to feel at any point of time? What emotions do you want? Do you want them to be frustrated? Do you want them to feel happy, angry? What emotion you want to feel? And so you have to create the game experience according to what you want your players to feel. And as a designer, your one of your main jobs is going to be communicating this idea of what the game is to other people through documentation, through communication, through talking to them, through meetings, etc. You have to make the programmers, artists, everyone understand what this experience is. And this is something that you need to do practically. So, for example, I went to Vancouver Film School and I did a game design course over there. So, the first 6 months we were taught pretty much everything, right? Now, if you want to be a game designer, the very good thing for you would be to understand more than just game design. Okay. Do you have any interest in game art or anything?
Yeah, so I actually have a sort of slight background, although I don't have much experience, but previous to gaming, coming into game development, I was into robotics and mechatronics. So
Right.
I was into programming, so that's one thing. I also have a junior diploma in art, so I've studied art and drawing and stuff. So uh, I sort of enjoy the whole process. I love development as a whole, combining all the stuff, design, programming, and the art part of it.
That's really good. That's very good to hear that you actually understand all the processes and you have interest in all the processes, but you want to focus in design. Most people, they when they say design, they have some or the other tendency. Like for me personally, I'm a designer, but I like the art part. I can even do some 3D modeling. I can do some sketching. I'm no artist, but if push comes to shove, I can do a little bit of art, and that is where. So in presently, what I do apart from game design, I'm also an art director. So if you have these interests apart from just game design, that's very good because then as a designer, you can understand the programmers, you can understand the artists, you can empathize with them, and you will be able to coordinate with them much better if you know all these things. Okay, so continue with that. Don't give up your programming if you have some programming skills. Actually, do some coding. Actually, do create some art assets. So don't lose that skill. But ultimately, if you want to do a game design course, make sure there is a project involved in it. It has to be a practical course. Wherever you go, whichever part of the world you go, make sure that if you want to do a course in game development, game design, etc. Make sure there is a project. As I said, you can only learn it once you do it. If you're just doing a theory part, then you know you're not going to be understand it. You're not going to be able to understand game design or game development in any depth. So, have you done any kind of work? Have you worked on any projects, made any games or anything like that?
So I have my website where I upload games. I take part in game jams, and I've collaborated with people across the whole globe. I'm also interning at a studio right now. I did an internship for 9 months at Zippy Creative Studio, and then now I'm working with Space Cube Studios, which is a remote studio. It has just come up like the founder of Zippy had collaborated with um, another person you might know, Rohan Saxena, to start Space Cube Studio, and I'm interning there as well. So
So,
yeah,
what
I
kind of
have
work are you doing there as an intern?
there I create small GDDs for hyper casual games. I come up with the UI part of stuff, and the general. I sort of have that. I'm the playtester and sort of the person who is doing all the documentation there, and some part of audio design as well. So I'm
Wow, so
basically
you're
with
doing this all this in class 10?
Yep.
That's that's really impressive, Ash. I've got to say. I mean, the stuff that you're already doing while you're in class 10, people don't even do that after passing out of college. So congratulations. I think you're really that's very impressive. That's really impressive. So I mean, for you specifically, I think you already understand what it means to be a designer. You're already creating design documents and stuff like that. So I mean, the advice that I would give you is, finish, obviously finish your school, finish 11th class, 12th, but during that time, keep working on projects like this. Okay? Keep working on projects like this because it will be good for you to understand the entire development process from coming up with an idea to pre-production and then producing the game, polishing the game, and then releasing it, putting it out there, marketing. So in the future, whatever you want to do, if you want to start your own thing, if you want to start your own studio, or if you want to work for a AAA company or some big thing, you'll have an idea of the entire process. So as of the moment, I would say just keep involving yourself with these projects, and once you pass out of school, once you have, once you clear class 12, it would be good to do some kind of degree. I mean, if it's possible that by that time you may already have a job um, in a game company at the way you're going. But it's nice to have a degree, especially in India. A lot of people are a little judgmental if you don't have a degree. So maybe it might worth doing a degree in game development from somewhere.
The next question is, are foreign universities like NYU or Full Sail worth the student loan?
Okay, brilliant question. Really, really good question. I would say it's risky. Okay, I would say it's quite risky to take a student loan because it's a lot of money. It's a massive amount of money. And it depends on people. People ask me the same question, and I tell them, look, if you come from a family where if you're not going to be able to pay back the loan for 2 years, if you can withstand that, then you go ahead with it. But if you're in the kind of situation that you have finished your college and you have taken a student loan, and within 3 months you have to start paying back, and that's going to cause you some financial distress, then it's risky in the sense that especially in a post-COVID world, I don't know what the world is going to be like. I don't know what work permits are going to be like. And the thing is that abroad, if you want to get a job in the US or Canada, the game industry is very, very advanced, as in it's of a very high level, very high quality, and it may take time to reach that level even after you graduate. So, I guess the answer is that it can be worth it, but it's definitely risky. If if your loan is going to be something that is going to weigh you down, then I'm not so sure. But like I said, if your financial situation, if your family financial situation is good and you have good amount of savings, and worst come worst, for 1 or 2 years you don't get a job and you have to struggle and you have to try here and try there, then go for it. It's a really, really good option to go to these foreign universities. The quality of teaching is amazing. Your peer group is fantastic. If you can get a work permit and you can get a job there, even as an intern or an entry level job, you'll really, really learn a lot.
That's a really nice advice.
So, before we go any further, now if you are brand new, you don't know what's going on, you don't know where to start, or maybe you're already doing a game course and you're still confused about what to do, or maybe you're already in the game industry and you want to know how to take your career further, you can also apply for a one-on-one mentoring session like this with me on the Gamer to Make a Helpline. And to do that, all you have to do is apply in the form which I have given you in the description of this video.
Then the next question is something you've sort of already answered, and it's related to making games. It's how important of a skill rapid prototyping is to a designer. because as a designer, prototyping is something I feel is a designer is what a designer should have on his resume. It's something
Yes, I
that
mean, and
is
particularly if you know programming, if you're a designer who knows programming and you can make your own prototype, that's huge. That's a very advantageous thing, because what happens is, um, we as designers, or as a team, sometimes we come up with ideas for games and we think, oh my god, this is such a good idea, this is so cool, you know and the truth is that there is a good chance that it may be cool and it may be awesome, but there is also a chance that it's not going to work. It sounds good, but when you actually implement it, does it's not fun. It doesn't feel, the experience is not what you thought it would be. Also, it's possible that it may be technically very difficult. You think it's easy, but when you start implementing it, you realize that it may not be technically possible. It may not be possible for you with your skill level to implement that feature the way you are planning it. So it makes it very high risk. So it means that if you're not going to prototype it, and if you're going to build the whole game around a very risky feature, then much more down the line, if that feature doesn't work, your game is kind of going to go down the toilet. So rapid prototyping is a very, very valuable skill for a designer. If you can actually and see the part of your game which is most risky, which is kind of, this is the coolest part, nobody's ever done this before. Like, I had this mechanic, I had this cool new physics move, or I have this new kind of jump, or I have this new kind of puzzle that I think is going to be really cool. Make that first. You don't have to use fancy art, just use programmer art, just use something from the asset store, implement it. And once you've implemented, see if it works, see if you can do it. If it's fun, if you can implement it, great, then you can build the game around that. Otherwise, if it fails at that point, you've really, like, you've dodged a bullet there, from a game development point of view. So rapid prototyping, yes, it's very, very valuable.
What's your opinion on generalist versus specialist? What should a designer be, generalist or specialist?
That's a good question. I think that in the beginning, generalize, know a lot of things. But once you discover what you're good at, once you discover your niche, once at some point, maybe 2, 3, 4 years down the line into game development, you discover what it is that you're good at and what there is a demand for, and you really go deep into that. So in the beginning, it's good to be a generalist, but later on, you should specialize.
Um, and second is sort of not just for designers, but people who are making games in general. What should they focus on? Elegance or engagement? And I'll roughly
Another,
define both
okay.
um, by like what perspective I'm saying that from. Elegance, I kind of mean there should be a high depth to complexity ratio. So depth should be high and complexity should be low. That's something we find in games like Minecraft and stuff, which some people find that as the core, the aim that they're trying to reach, and some
Mhm.
people have the idea of elegant engagement. Sorry, that the game should be more engaging. The more engaging it is, it better. So, what's your thought on
So
elegance versus
I
engagement?
think there is space for both of those. Um, the generally, when it comes to mobile, for more casual players, you need something much more engaging, right? You need something which gives you quick gratification. 60 seconds into playing the game, you understand exactly what's going on, you know all the mechanics, right? So that is uh, the second one, which you said, the high engagement is more geared towards a more casual, towards a more mobile kind of audience, right? On the other hand, the one you were talking about, complexity versus depth, that's a really good one, in the sense that to have something which is nice and deep, a mechanic that can go deep without being too complex, of course, that is ideal. That is beautiful design. That is the goal of all design, not just game design. And but that is something which is appreciated by a more core audience, by co-gamers. So they will play your game longer. They will maybe play. They are okay with not being gratified for half an hour of gameplay. They're okay with playing the game, engaging with your game in more depth before they start to get gratification. So it depends on what kind of platform you are on, what kind of company you are on, right? My personal choice is the first one, obviously. Um, if I had my way, I would only work on games which have a lot of depth and less complexity, obviously. But the truth of the matter is that you may get a job at a mobile game company where they don't care about depth and they only want engagement. They might say, okay, man, listen, you launch the game and within 60 seconds you have to hook the player. So, like, throw out all your tricks within 60 seconds of the player starting the game. And even that might not be your thing as a designer, but if it's going to pay the bills, then you got to do that. So I hope that answers
Yep,
the question.
and I totally relate to that because I myself love the thought of making a game more elegant, even if I have to sacrifice a bit of elegance. But then I'm working at a studio that's making hyper casual games, and the whole aim is you have to fit the core mechanics in 15 seconds or 5 seconds. People have to get it like just in seconds. So, but then that's that's what has been expected out of me. So I guess
Do that, that's great. Work on that. But in your spare time, do the other stuff. Work on the other stuff.
yep.
Okay. I mean, right now you're in 10th, you're still in school, but later on, it's possible to actually work on something that pays the bills but you don't enjoy so much, but actually do what you love, work on that on the side. It's very much possible. So don't give up on that.
I think I'm done with all the questions I had. The questions.
Awesome. Awesome. It was really nice talking to you, and I'm so happy to see. It gives me great hope to see someone as young as you who wants to get into game design. Um, I'm so happy to see the work you've done, the level you've reached while you're still in class 10. I think you are an inspiration for a lot of people who are going to watch this video. So it was really nice talking to you. And I hope I get to work with you someday. So all the best, Ash, and take care.
Thank you, sir. That'll be a dream for me as well. Dream come true to work with you. You have been a great inspiration to me as well.
Thank you. Take care.